Port Charles had seen its share of scandals, betrayals, and shocking secrets, but nothing could have prepared the town for what was about to unfold. The morning sun spilled across the windows of the Quartermain mansion as Tracy Quartermain sat alone in the living room, sipping her tea. For once, the house was quiet. No family arguments, no corporate crises, no unexpected visitors. Yet something felt wrong. For days, Tracy had watched the growing excitement surrounding little Phoebe's upcoming adoption. Everyone seemed convinced that the child had finally found a loving home and a bright future. Everyone except Tracy. She couldn't explain it. Call it instinct, call it experience, call it years of surviving in Port Charles. But Tracy Quartermain knew when a situation smelled rotten, and this one reeked of trouble. The adoption process had moved far too quickly. Paperwork had appeared overnight. Background checks had been approved in record time. Important questions had gone unanswered. Most people were too busy celebrating to notice. Tracy wasn't, and she intended to find out exactly why. A few hours later, Tracy arrived at General Hospital. She spotted Anna Devane speaking with a social worker in the hallway. "Anna?" The commissioner turned. "Tracy, I need information." Anna sighed. That's usually how our conversations begin. Tracy crossed her arms. The adoption case involving Phoebe. Anna's expression immediately changed. "What about it?" "Something isn't right." Anna hesitated. "That's a serious accusation." "I didn't make an accusation," Tracy replied coldly. "I made an observation." Anna studied her carefully. Tracy wasn't known for being sentimental. If she was concerned about a child, there had to be a reason. "What exactly are you worried about?" Anna asked. "The adoptive family." Background checks came back clean. "Too clean." Anna frowned. "What does that mean?" "It means people don't suddenly become perfect." For the first time, Anna looked uneasy, because Tracy had a point. That evening, Tracy made a phone call, then another, and another. Years of business dealings had given her access to resources most people could only dream about. Private investigators, financial analysts, corporate intelligence specialists. If there was a secret hidden somewhere, Tracy would find it. Within 48 hours, the first alarming report arrived. The adoptive couple wasn't who they claimed to be. Not entirely. Their identities were real, but several financial records had been altered. Large sums of money had been transferred through offshore accounts. Names connected to those transactions had been erased. Someone had gone to tremendous lengths to hide the truth. Tracy stared at the documents. A chill ran down her spine. This wasn't ordinary fraud. This was something much bigger, much darker. Meanwhile, preparations for the adoption ceremony continued. Phoebe laughed as friends gathered around her. The little girl finally seemed happy. She believed she was about to gain a family, a permanent home, a future. Watching her smile made Tracy's stomach twist. Because if the reports were correct, Phoebe wasn't being adopted. She was being targeted. Late that night, Tracy met with her investigator. The man slid another folder across the table. "This is where things get strange." Tracy opened it, and her face went pale. The adoptive couple had connections to a private organization operating outside the United States. Officially, the organization was a charitable foundation. Unofficially, authorities suspected it was involved in child trafficking. Tracy's heart pounded. "No, I'm afraid so. This can't be real. We verified it 3 times. Silence filled the room. For the first time in years, Tracy felt genuine fear. Someone wasn't trying to adopt Phoebe. Someone was trying to acquire her. The next morning, Tracy stormed into Anna's office. "You need to read this." Anna scanned the documents. Her eyes widened. "Where did you get these?" "That doesn't matter." "It absolutely matters." "Anna!" The commissioner looked up. Tracy rarely raised her voice. When she did, people listened. "A child is in danger." Anna took a deep breath. "If these documents are legitimate," they are, "then we have a serious problem." A serious problem? Tracy snapped. Someone is trying to traffic a little girl. Anna immediately called Dante Falconeri. Within minutes, a formal investigation was underway, but they faced a major obstacle. The adoption hearing was scheduled for the following day. Time was running out. Elsewhere, unknown figures watched events unfold. One man sat inside a black SUV, a phone pressed against his ear. "She's getting too close," a voice answered. "Then deal with her." The man looked toward the Quartermain mansion. "Understood." The call ended, and the dangerous game began. That night, Tracy returned home. As she entered the mansion, she noticed something unusual. The front door was slightly open. She froze. She knew she had locked it. Slowly, she stepped inside. The house was silent. Too silent. Then she saw it. A single envelope sitting on the table. Her name written across the front. Tracy opened it carefully. Inside was a photograph. Phoebe, playing at the park. A red circle had been drawn around her face. Beneath the picture was a handwritten message. "Stop asking questions, or the child suffers." For the first time in years, Tracy felt truly shaken. Someone was watching. Someone was threatening a little girl, and someone was willing to do anything to keep their secret hidden. The following morning, Port Charles buzzed with excitement. The adoption hearing was hours away. Most residents expected a happy ending. Few realized a nightmare was unfolding behind the scenes. Anna and Dante worked frantically. They needed evidence strong enough to halt the adoption. But every lead seemed to disappear. Records vanished. Witnesses stopped talking. Documents were altered. It was as if an invisible force was cleaning up every trace. Then a breakthrough arrived. A former employee of the organization agreed to testify. The woman appeared terrified, but she was willing to speak. What she revealed shocked everyone. The organization had spent years identifying children with valuable family connections. Children connected to wealth, power, influence. Once those children disappeared into the system, they became nearly impossible to track. Phoebe had been selected months ago. The adoption wasn't random, it was planned. Carefully, deliberately. And Port Charles had nearly fallen for it. Tracy listened to the testimony. Her anger grew with every word. Someone had treated Phoebe like property, like a commodity, like an object. That wasn't happening, not while Tracy Quartermain was alive. Hours later, the courtroom filled. Family members gathered, friends smiled. Phoebe sat quietly, unaware of the storm approaching. The judge prepared to finalize the adoption. Then the courtroom doors burst open. "Stop!" Every head turned. Tracy marched inside. Anna and Dante followed. The room erupted into confusion. The judge frowned. "What is the meaning of this?" Tracy stepped forward. "That adoption cannot proceed." The adoptive couple exchanged nervous glances. The judge looked irritated. "Mrs. Quartermain, unless you have legal grounds—" "I do." Anna handed over a thick stack of evidence. The judge began reviewing it. The atmosphere changed instantly. Shock spread across the courtroom, then fear, then outrage. The adoptive couple's faces lost all color, because they realized the truth had finally surfaced. Suddenly, the man stood. "We're leaving." Dante moved immediately. "Not happening." The woman bolted toward the exit. Police officers intercepted her. The courtroom exploded into chaos. Phoebe started crying. People shouted. Questions flew from every direction. Within seconds, both suspects were in custody. The terrifying scheme had collapsed. But the story wasn't over. Because during interrogation, investigators uncovered something even worse. The organization wasn't interested solely in Phoebe. Several children across multiple states had been targeted. Some were still missing. Others had vanished years earlier. The adoption scheme had been operating far longer than anyone imagined. Authorities launched a nationwide operation. Arrests followed, then more arrests. The network began crumbling, one piece at a time. Back in Port Charles, relief slowly replaced fear. Phoebe was safe, for now. but the emotional scars remained. The little girl struggled to understand what had happened, why people she trusted had lied, why adults could be so cruel. One evening, Tracy visited her. Phoebe sat quietly, staring out a window. "Are you okay?" Tracy asked softly. The child shrugged. "I thought they loved me." The words broke Tracy's heart. She sat beside her. "No." Phoebe looked up. "No?" "They wanted something from you. Then nobody wants me." Tracy immediately shook her head. "That's not true." "How do you know?" "Because I know people who would fight the entire world for you." Phoebe's eyes filled with tears. "Really?" "Really." The child smiled for the first time in days, and Tracy realized something surprising. Somewhere along the way, she had become fiercely protective of Phoebe, perhaps even grandmotherly, though she would never admit it publicly. Weeks passed. The investigation continued. New evidence surfaced daily. Each revelation proved how close Phoebe had come to disaster. Had Tracy ignored her instincts, the child might have disappeared forever. Anna later admitted as much. "You saved her." Tracy rolled her eyes. "Don't be dramatic." "I'm serious. I simply asked questions." Anna laughed. "Questions that exposed an international criminal network." Tracy smirked. "Details." News of Tracy's actions spread throughout Port Charles. Many residents were stunned. After all, Tracy Quartermain wasn't exactly known for heroics. She was known for sharp insults, corporate battles, and impossible demands. Yet this time, she had become something else. A protector, a guardian, a hero, much to her annoyance. One afternoon, a celebration was organized at the Quartermain mansion. Friends and family gathered to honor everyone involved. Phoebe arrived carrying a small wrapped package. She walked directly toward Tracy. "This is for you?" Tracy blinked. "What is it?" "Open it." Carefully, Tracy unwrapped the gift. Inside was a framed drawing, a picture of Phoebe and Tracy, standing together. Above them were 3 simple words: "My hero, Tracy." The room fell silent. Tracy stared at the drawing. For a moment, she couldn't speak. A rare occurrence. Then she cleared her throat. "This artist clearly exaggerated my hair." Laughter erupted. Phoebe hugged her tightly, and for once, Tracy hugged her back. But even as peace returned, one mystery remained. Investigators never discovered who had originally selected Phoebe as a target. The person responsible disappeared before authorities could identify them, meaning one dangerous player remained free, watching, waiting, planning, a shadow hidden somewhere beyond Port Charles, a threat that could return at any moment, and when it did, it would find something unexpected. Because Phoebe wasn't alone anymore, she had people willing to fight for her, people willing to protect her, people willing to uncover every secret, no matter how terrifying. And leading that list was Tracy Quartermain, the woman who trusted her instincts, the woman who refused to stay silent, the woman who stopped a horrifying adoption plot before it was too late. As the sun set over Port Charles, Phoebe laughed with friends and family, safe at last. Yet somewhere in the darkness, unseen eyes continued watching. A final chapter had not been written. A new battle was already beginning. And if history had proven anything, it was this: never underestimate Tracy Quartermain. Because when danger comes for the people she cares about, she becomes the most formidable force in Port Charles. And heaven help anyone who stands in her way.